Now come to order. Welcome to the March 7th, 2023 meeting. Ms. Doyle, the ARB attorney, will you please read the legal regulations for this hybrid board meeting?
Yes. Good morning. In accordance with the Town Board's adoption of Local Law Number 14 of 2022, the board's meetings are being held both in person here at Town Hall and by a video conference through Zoom webinar. The link to participate in this meeting via Zoom can be found on the town's website at the town clerk's agendas and meetings portal. You can also watch the live stream video and submit written comments through the town website. For anyone attending via Zoom, if you wish to speak during the meeting, then please click the raise hand icon so our moderator can grant you access to participate in the meeting. If you are here in person, when your application is called, you can come up to the table. We have microphones up here. As a reminder, please state your name and hamlet of residence for the record. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Ms. Doyle, thanks. Mr. Rump, the vice chair, would you please lead us in the pledge?
Certainly, Mr. Chairman.
And I'll do it because I have an American flag over here.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Mr. Rump.
You're very welcome, Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Jankowski, the board secretary, would you please perform the roll call?
I'll start with who's present in the room. So Mr. Tagliavia.
Here.
Mr. Burke.
Here.
Mr. Rumpf.
Here.
And myself. And on Zoom, Ms. Keys.
Here.
And Mr. Chairman, Mr. Sherry.
Yes, here. Thank you.
All right. So
Thank you, Mr. Jankowski. And we have a quorum.
we have a quorum right now.
Thank you. Did the board members that were present review the minutes of the February 7th, 2023 meeting?
Yes.
And were there any errors or omissions?
None.
None that I saw, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. If none, do I hear a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded to approve the minutes of the February 7th, 2023 meeting. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And I believe that's carried. Is there any old business to come before the board not on the agenda? If none, and then I'll proceed with the items on the agenda without exception. The first item on the agenda is a sign application, and it is the American Legion at 55 Palmquag Avenue, Hampton Bays. And Miss Alpert is the lead for this, but since she's absent, Mr. Rump, would you mind taking this?
Not at all, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Will you give the board your comments and decision on this application after we review it?
Sure. The comment that I have, and I think I mentioned in an email, the sign is under construction. So, I believe,
Last meeting, we all agreed with the latest design. I think we're just waiting for a quorum to vote, and
Okay.
I think that's what we're doing today. That's why we didn't require them back.
Okay. I wasn't here at the last meeting, but just,
One comment, excuse me, on this, is that I did request that they do not put this hall for rent sign on there, because, just to clarify, they have that on there now, and I believe, and correct me if I'm wrong, Mr. Rump, they agreed with you that there was to be no advertising on the sign. Is that correct?
Mr. Chairman, I don't recall that as, a statement from the commander of the post. I know we discussed the what the town board's idea and thought on their sign code is used as identification of place and not advertising. But I don't recall that statement, Mr. Chairman, I really don't.
Okay, it was made while you were absent.
Okay.
It was made to me at the, when we did a review of this.
Was that on February 21st?
Yeah, the last meeting.
Yes.
Yep,
Okay.
yep.
Because I had noticed that they had a for rent sign
Mhm.
underneath their original sign.
Right. Now-
And that's why I brought it up and mentioned it, and
Okay.
they reluctantly agreed it would not be put in digital. They
Okay.
would find another place to put it.
The only thing that I see, that I don't see, and I don't know if it was discussed at the last meeting, was the number for emergency services on it, and we discussed that, but I don't see that on the renditions of these signs. So I don't know if that was discussed at the last meeting or not, Mr. Chairman.
Yes, yes, we did, and it should be on there.
We can make that.
Yeah,
when
make it a
we
condition.
say
Yeah, we
it,
can
just
make
to
that a-
remind them and then
Right.
say, make sure
Yeah.
55 is somewhere
Right,
on the
but
top.
Yeah.
My concern is that they have a permit to construct because, I saw it, I was at church on Sunday and they were already, the foundation of the signs were being installed. So,
Okay, well, I believe from what was discussed, they made a comment, they had the permit to demolish the existing sign. But I'm unaware also that they have a permit to erect the new one.
right. So I don't know how we're gonna communicate these comments to the post and from now, we can just make it part of the, I guess, an approval right now.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay,
Yeah,
Oh,
we
right,
make
it
it
still has
part
to
of
be
the
approved,
approval.
yeah.
okay.
They made the changes we asked.
Right.
And they showed
sure.
us the single color.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think when we left the 7th meeting, I know I wasn't here for the 20s meeting,
Right,
Yeah.
that we said, sure, send us the email. We were all in agreement that we would approve it.
Yeah,
Yep.
And then we got the emails,
yep.
so then they might have just considered that as, okay, let's try to get it done probably before their parade is gonna be my guess.
right, okay.
All right, Mr. Rump, any further comments?
No further comments, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Burke, comments?
No, I think that as long as our approval still reflects those other conditions that we talked about that were like submitted with the variance, just like, right? I guess that's all on the record though, the fact that we wanted to limit the colors and
And the size of the font.
right, sizes, yep.
And the only thing that wasn't on the record, because that was not a formal meeting on the 21st, was that there would be absolutely no advertising on that digital sign.
Right.
Okay. Mr. Jankowski, comments?
Nope, so when we make the approval, we'll make sure that it has the number and that there's no advertising on the sign.
Correct. Okay. Mr. Tagliavia, comments?
No further comments.
Okay, thank you. Is there any comments from the public on this?
I see no hands.
None. I think the Hampton Bays CAC might have chimed in on this at one time, but no comments, then there is no comments. Okay, do I hear a motion on this?
Yeah, a motion to
application?
approve as submitted with the colors and the font size, as well as the statement that there will be no advertising produced on the sign, as well as the addition of the address number on the sign, basically on top of that, sign if we could.
Okay.
That's the motion, Mr. Chairman.
I'll second that.
Motion has been made and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
It's carried with those conditions. Okay. Next is, we have a sign application, Bridgehampton Commons, Colette, 2044 Montauk Highway, Bridgehampton. Is the applicant present?
As it said, Mr. Chairman, I have to recuse myself.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Ron.
Yeah, I guess.
If there are not four members, if we don't have four members physically present here, then we don't have a quorum, so we cannot review this application today. Because according to the open meetings law, the members that are participating via Zoom do not count towards the quorum, and we only have 3 out of 7 here now.
Okay, well, Ms. Doyle, since the applicant is there, we can always review this. Is that correct?
No, if something has to go to a meeting and you don't have a quorum, then you can't review it.
We can't vote on it, but can we, with
Yeah,
us
we can
being
look at
here,
it.
we can at least, it's almost like it's informal, right?
No,
So-
that would be considered a meeting, and then you're having a meeting without a quorum.
Unless you like went into work session or something.
Okay,
Not during it.
Oh.
Right now, there's no meeting because you don't have a quorum, so we can't do any business
Yep.
outside the meeting.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
So, I'm sorry.
Okay,
You'll have to wait next time.
all
so
right.
both this and the Williams-Sonoma sign,
Yeah.
we can't talk about, because if
Right.
they're both in, though, so I understand why Mr. Rumpf had to recuse himself on this, because it's work that's being done to the exterior of the, this building, and his company had been hired by the landlord to do landscaping work on the property to the east of this,
Okay.
which is part of the Bridgehampton Commons.
Mm-hmm.
The Williams-Sonoma sign is just a sign, and it's more specifically for Williams-Sonoma.
Mm-hmm.
So,
And it has nothing to do with the
and it has nothing to do
landscaping.
with,
Yeah.
right.
Right.
So, I'm just wondering if maybe we could talk about that. So, I mean, it'll be up to him.
It would be up to Tim, right?
Right, of
I
course.
think that would be fine. I don't see any conflict because the sign
Right.
has nothing to do with
Yeah, 'cause I
landscaping.
think he was part of when we did the whole
Ms.
27
Right.
signs too. I thought he was.
Oh,
Excuse
okay.
me, Ms. Doyle,
Yes.
is it, I mean, since it is not the building that the sign is on, and it's my understanding that Mr. Rump might be doing the landscaping, not working on the sign or the building itself,
Right.
isn't it possible he doesn't have to recuse himself?
It is, yes, it is. Ted just went out to go talk to Tim to see if he has any other reason to have a conflict. If it is just the landscaping that has nothing to do with the sign, I don't see any conflict there.
It's okay.
What do you think, Al?
It was just the landscaping?
Yeah, we worked with Inner Science on the whole reapproval of TJ Maxx and everything else, but we didn't do anything specific for any of the sign, like Colette or any Williams-Sonoma.
It didn't have anything to do with the signs. I don't
It's up to
see
you.
any-
It's-
I don't see
You know,
any.
I just don't want to be,
No.
it's up to you, I can do that, I just don't want to create any.
This is a new sign too. It's not, these are new things that.
Yeah, so both of these things are new, and while we're bringing up the Colette, it is not the Colette's not a sign, they're merging 2 units, and the only thing that's before this board is the fact that we're just removing, there are 2 doors there now, because they're merging 2 units, and we're putting in a new door. And there's no landscaping or anything, and also this is on the western of the 2 parcels. So it's really, like, it's a kind of an innocuous change.
And this is
Okay.
something that you had already worked on and it was approved in the past.
Yes.
It's not an ongoing, there's nothing going on right now that you're working on.
We're done.
Okay, so that, I don't see any conflict there.
Okay.
Mr. Rump, just to clarify before we continue, are you comfortable with not recusing yourself on this?
Yes, as long as our attorney thinks it's okay, I can go with it.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Welcome back,
Okay,
Tim.
all right, Ms. Keys, you're the lead on this. Would you review the application and also give the board your comments and decision on this?
I I cannot get it to come up on my, Charles, will you resend me the information? Please? Or send me the information on it? I don't have it in front of me.
What information?
On the sign, I don't have it here.
Oh,
Is it up on
Yeah.
the,
Can you?
I can put it up on the screen. Yeah.
This is the Williams-Sonoma. If there is information
There it
about
is.
the,
Yeah,
where?
there was another package, Kelly.
The Colette one.
For the-
Okay,
Yep,
hang
and
on.
then I have this one.
That one.
Oh,
If you go to, actually go to the second page if you would first.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman.
okay,
Yeah,
now it's
sorry.
coming up. Sorry about that all. Can I see the sign?
Ah, yes. This is Williams-Sonoma.
So these are two separate applications. So the are we talking about, I apologize.
Williams-Sonoma and Colette, correct?
Right, and so Colette is the one we're talking about first, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
yes, Colette is the only one now.
Yes. So if you could go to sheet A201, so 1, that's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, page 7.
There we go.
There we go. So there is no specific sign proposed right now. This is just changing where the doors are, and because it is an exterior change to the building, the planning department wanted the ARB's input on it.
Right.
Thank God, I thought I was missing the sign. It's not there, okay.
Correct, yes.
How can we review the sign without the sign?
We're doing the exterior first,
Yeah, you're
where
doing
they're
the
adding
sign.
this door, then we're gonna look at a sign. So it's actually two applications, Jules.
And they are two
Okay.
completely separate buildings. So right now, this is not a sign, this is just on the, where the Colette's used to be, which is on the south side towards, of this property. And then the Williams-Sonoma is gonna be on the north side. So this is
And they
their,
both will look like that.
No, this is a door, and the other one's gonna be a sign. Two different spots in the commons. So right now,
I think this looks fine.
we're looking at the door that they added.
Yeah.
So it looks,
The door looks fine.
yeah. So on the elevation on the bottom, that's what it looks like right now. There are two different doors, and they are going to remove both of them and then build a new door to serve for both units.
I understand.
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay,
I
so-
think that,
Ms. Keys, regarding the change in the building, any comments on it?
no, I think it looks fine.
Okay, we've got to go through each segment individually.
Okay.
Okay, Mr. Rump, comments on this?
No comment.
Okay, Mr. Jankowski, comments?
no issues.
Okay, Mr. Burke,
No issues.
Mr. Tagliavia?
No, looks like an improvement to me. No issues.
Uh-huh.
I agree with you, and I have no problem with it. Okay, this will be in the transmittal letter to the planning department. Next, now the sign, which is going to be Colette.
This is Williams-Sonoma.
Or you mean just Williams-Sonoma on the sign?
Right.
Correct.
Okay. All right, Ms. Keys, would you?
Yes, hi. Is the color black?
The color is black, yes.
And Target is over in there? I think it looks fine also. What
And
kind of lighting is above it?
the same gooseneck lighting that is on all of the existing fixtures that are being used.
Okay, great, thank you. It's small on here, so I have to, all right, yes, that looks fine to me also.
Okay, fine, thank you.
Um,
Mr. Rumpf, comments?
The only comment I have, Mr. Chairman, is California. What?
Where? I don't see California.
It's under Sonoma, small writing.
Okay, yeah, I agree, yeah, well.
I don't know what
You see
that
Ms.
means.
Keys?
you know,
No,
Michael.
just do that. I think that's confusing.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, you know, again, it's, we go through this and,
Yeah.
so I would recommend that California and the line that's between the two be removed.
Yeah, there's no
Okay,
reason for it.
fine. And, I assume you would want to have the Williams-Sonoma drop down a little then,
Yeah,
okay? Mr. Jankowski, comments?
I'll agree with Mr. Rumpf on that, eliminate the California and the line and then just move it down just a touch.
Okay, Mr. Burke, comments?
No, I agree with that, but this is black, where all those new signs are green, right? That green and gold.
So this is gonna be one of the larger store signs, so similar to Ulta and Staples, which are also on this building. They're gonna be the larger signs that are able to have
The different.
a different color, yeah.
As Target also, correct?
No Target in there, but
No, you mean Kmart.
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 Yeah, Kmart and
Yeah,
King
yeah,
Cullen, and yeah, those all have a different style of sign.
Understood. Okay. No,
Mm-hmm.
that's it. I
Okay.
agree with everybody else.
Okay.
Okay, Mr. Tagliavia?
Is there a specific reason for the California underneath that the applicant would want to explain, or otherwise we're going to vote to remove it?
I believe the tenant asked us to put this proposed sign forward, and we said that we would ask. So that was really the only real reason. Is that correct? Yeah, sure. Teresa, you have to come up. Yeah.
Okay, Mr. Tagliavia, what are your final comments on this?
I just wanted to know the reasoning behind the California, given that we are in, we're in New
So
York.
the applicant's coming up to the table, Mr. Chairman.
So she's going to
just hang on one
explain.
second.
She's going to explain the
Good
reason for the
morning.
California.
Good morning.
Good morning.
My name is Doris Ennis. I'm with Kimco Realty, Associate Development Director. The reason for the signage, the tenant presented this as an option for us to present to see if it would get approved. I'm sure they would entertain any comments from the board, and it can be revised based on your recommendations. But essentially, we put it out there and we requested their prototypical signage that they're using across the board for all their branding and their new stores, and this is what they proposed. So we're able to go back and, give them your comments and see how they'll respond to it. But ultimately, they just really wanted a larger sign.
Okay. I mean, given that information, I agree with the rest of the board to remove the California and the line.
Okay.
Okay, fine. Thank you, Mr. Tagliavia. And I agree with Mr. Rump and the rest of the board, removing the California and also lowering it. Okay,
What-
Ms. Keith, any further comments?
No, I agree with the board entirely. Thank you for touching.
Okay, all right, comments from the public on this?
Mr.
Any
Chairman?
further Additional comments from the applicant?
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
I think we should give some direction on how much we want them to lower it.
I agree. I thought we could do that in the, motion.
Well, I think we need to discuss that with the board.
And I just want to make one other note to the board, just so that you are aware. So now that you have both of these here, the bottom is actually what the existing conditions are, and the top are the proposed. So I just want to make it clear to the board that as part of this, they are also going to be covering up that kind of window area. It'll all match the existing siding, and there'll be a sign that goes over it. But I just want to make sure that that was clear in case the board had any additional comments on that. So.
You see that, Mr. Chairman, that half circle window is coming out.
Oh, yeah, I understand that.
Okay, just want to make
We just
sure.
didn't say it, that was
Yeah, I
gonna be the next one.
understood
Okay.
that. They were gonna.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Jankowski.
All right, so where do we want to say to lower the Williams-Sonoma? I mean,
Yeah,
obviously,
Mr.
the
Rump?
goose lighting has to be added because the window's there, so they're gonna put it in.
Right.
Kel, can you have us look at it so we can see the two that are next to it on the left and the right?
Yeah, that larger elevation.
Okay. Can we make
Kinda
that
hard
big?
to
Yeah,
see.
that top one just a little bit, so then we can start to slide over?
Staples. like.
All right, so looks like they're keeping the lighting the same level as the Staples?
It
It's
is
a little bit higher.
It is a little bit
Yeah,
higher.
it's a
Oh, it
little bit
is,
higher.
because of that California.
I think
Okay.
so.
Mm.
So if we made all of the I'm sorry to step on everyone's toes, but if we made the lighting all align with both the Staples and the Ulta, and then put the Williams-Sonoma sign underneath that after making sure that the lights are all aligned, does that make sense?
Yeah,
It does to me.
Where's the other one? Oh, remember.
Yeah, it's-
Kind of hard to see here.
As opposed to.
yeah, I guess, because it looks like the Ulta and the Staples lights line up.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and
Right.
now that Michael said it, you can see, like, it's a touch
Yeah.
higher. So then, I like that, at least if that gives us our reference point,
Yep,
that we line it up, and then underneath.
and then drop the Williams-Sonoma down to make that work from a lighting standpoint.
Yeah,
Okay.
Well,
and then we don't have to worry about it
well,
getting bigger
I'll just make
because.
this comment to the
Can't
board.
Mhm.
When we did the review of the Staples sign, we had them just center it between the lights and the overhang. We could do that with this too.
I feel like it's a little different condition, given that it's a gable as opposed to an eave detail, so
Yeah.
proportionally it might be slightly different.
Yeah, I think that's why we're using the references on the left and the right, Mr. Chairman, so that we can at least
Yeah.
maintain that line.
Mhm.
No, I agree with that.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. I do too.
Yeah, but where the lights will be, the finish, we can center the Williams-Sonoma there.
It is, it's centered in that gable, you can see it.
No, I don't mean the gable, but where the lights will be dropped down, because they're a little higher now.
Mhm.
Where they're going to go, you center the Williams-Sonoma from the bottom of where the lights are to the bottom of the, top of the overhang.
Okay, so we move the lights down to be aligned with the Staples and the Ulta lights, and then the Williams-Sonoma sign will be centered between the lights and the
top of
gable.
that,
Correct.
You know, the top
Right.
of the fascia there, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
That makes sense.
That makes sense.
Okay?
Okay,
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
okay, thank you. All right, do I hear a motion on this, because we have to vote since it's a sign?
I'll make a motion with the conditions that discussed. Removing California, lowering it as just discussed.
I'll second that.
Okay, the motion has been made. Sorry, is there any comments from the public before we
I
vote
see
on it?
no hands.
None. Okay, thank you. All right, the motion has been made and seconded on this Bridgehampton Commons Colette sign with the stipulations that were outlined in the motion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, it's carried. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mike.
Good, we could get that done.
Yes, I appreciate your board's time, as always.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Not that I don't like coming back here.
Right, but at least it's,
Always good to see everyone.
take care.
Thanks, Mike.
Have a good day.
Thank you.
The next on the application is a site plan review. And this is the laundromat at 130 East Montauk Highway. And it's Paccio, or I think I could be pronouncing it incorrectly.
Lucio?
Is the applicant present?
We didn't require him come back as per last meeting, we just didn't have a quorum
Right,
to
but
vote.
there are conditions that have happened since then.
Understood.
On this, but I sent an email to the board regarding it, and I'll just make this. Apparently, the Hampton Bay CAC was not aware of this, and they were not notified of it, and they are, they've raised this issue. But we can look at the building, and if you think it needs landscaping or things like that around the building, that's within our purview.
I think,
The rest of it is not.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes,
Carrie was going to get a planner because I think there were some things that they just wanted to explain for this application.
yes, please.
What was the comment in the email, Mr. Chairman? You can say that at least before we wait for the
Okay,
plan.
yes, that, they were not aware that this was being put on the agenda for the planning board nor the architectural review board. And they wanted to know what the design was gonna be like, what it was, the design of it, the environmental factors, which doesn't concern us, and like the big parking lot that's going to probably require toward the back of the property. But even, correct me if I'm wrong, Mr. Rook, but screening that parking lot from the neighbors, screening it on the boundary, we could suggest all of that. But I'm not sure, I think the planning board, that's within theirs.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Anthony's here with us
Anthony's
now.
Okay. Great, thank you.
So, what do you need?
Well, do you have anything that, were comments or whatnot from
No, I
this?
mean, I spoke to Claire. Landscaping recommendations we could incorporate into a site plan, so that's no issue there. As for the rest of the items that I mentioned in the letter, we did the environmental review on this already, so
Okay,
that's all done.
all right. Did you contact the Hampton Bay CAC?
CAC was notified. We
Was
did confirm.
notified,
Yeah.
all right. You did hear
No,
that
they
then?
were notified, Mr. Jankowski, as of this morning.
Oh, okay.
No, they
And I just got the letter regarding the CAC, was not notified on this, and they wanted to respond.
So the CAC, when we deemed the application complete a while back, the referrals were made to the CAC. Now, from that time, and then there could have been a change in the members at the end of the, the beginning of the year they changed, but we did the referrals to the CAC.
Okay, so you did your due diligence? and-
100%.
Fine. You heard that, Mr. Chairman?
Yes, yeah, no, I was aware of it because I saw the letter from Ms. Shea to the CAC.
Okay.
She sent it about 10, 15 minutes before our meeting.
To the new member.
To the new member?
Yeah, to the new members, so.
Okay.
And the other side of it is, we've had public hearings, the opposition has documented their concerns, so.
Okay.
Right.
Okay, well, I just want to ask you one more question.
Sure.
Regarding this. My concern is not mainly with the front, but with the rear where the parking is. Doesn't that border close to some residential structures?
No.
I think it's
Not-
the railroad.
It's the railroad tracks.
It is the railroad tracks, yep.
And there's
Okay,
there's
thank you.
pretty much an identical building that's right next to it that has that same parking in the back.
Right. But there is a residence on the side
No.
somewhere back there, or it was, maybe it's no longer there.
We did and there is the buffer in the back that we are doing.
Right.
Okay.
For the railroad.
From the railroad,
Yeah.
actually, yeah. What we do is, because there's usually a transition line setback from residential. My guess is that the residential line falls somewhere between the railroad tracks and further south. So what we do is we measure from the center line, just to make sure that we provide buffer on ours, and then we give them a little credit because it is the railroad. So so that's what we did.
But
in
I'm
this
trying to
particular
think,
case.
I don't remember there being even any residential.
No, the only residential one was Al Veltman's old house behind the Mexican restaurant,
Gotcha.
right? Which is,
Right, that's,
that's the only, I believe it's, part of housing for the restaurant at this point.
well,
Is-
yeah, Mr. Rump, what I was referring to was regarding when that restaurant was a fish restaurant
Mhm.
prior to the Mexican restaurant. The owners lived in that house that you're referring to.
Yeah, the Veltmans.
Right, and they created some other little house for their working staff in back of there.
Yeah.
I mean, to the side.
I think there's a whole nother
That would have probably butted his property.
that he owns.
Anthony, is there a landscape or planting plan?
Oh, I'm sure there is. It's part of any site plan, yeah.
So, and the board was happy with that and everything else?
And if we get recommendations to bolster, or ensure that there's proper buffers, we make revisions at the time of a conditional approval. Say, okay, change the landscaping plan to include more of this, and so, if, you know, but yeah, there's always there's a lighting plan too, always to
Right.
make sure that
So
the lighting.
Is it part of this? Can you pull it up, or is it? Do you know, or
I don't, my guess is it would be on a separate
it
plan.
would be a separate plan?
Yeah, a lot of times
Okay.
a lighting and landscaping plan.
All right.
Well, Mr. Rump, we can incorporate that in the transmittal letter.
But we don't.
We're
we don't
just
have
trying
a
to
copy
find
of
it. We're trying to see if we can see one.
We don't have a copy of it, Mr. Chairman.
See, they have cross-access to that back one too? That's not even there right now.
Yeah.
I don't know that we scanned the.
No, this board only got the elevations. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so any landscaping plan you probably didn't get.
So how do you want to handle that, Mr. Chairman?
Okay, can he get the landscaping plan before we adjourn?
I don't know.
I could certainly try.
Okay, if you don't mind.
I mean, I guess, we're getting on our action deadline here, and
what's
Claire's
the
not here
color
today, and we're sort of,
What's the color
staffing
rendering
shortage.
look like, Anthony? The next one down, the color
Yeah, because
rendering.
that's what started this. We didn't.
Oh, is this thing here?
Oh, that one. Oh,
Yeah.
okay. All right. Well, is it something, Mr. Chairman, that I could look at and just comment on without the board's comments? Do you want me to do
Yeah.
that, or is that?
I'm more than happy with that, because we can hear the comments of the board, and then you can see the landscape plan. This way, no one's held up.
Right, and what,
And then we can, before the transmittal letter is sent out, then we can, we can all agree or disagree on this, with the building right now. And then you will review the landscape plan.
right.
Okay, well.
Ms. Doyle, is there any problem with that?
That's fine.
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, this view we're looking at, what view, is this from the railroad tracks, or is this from the road?
I think that's the driveway coming in, so we're probably facing
Yeah.
east.
Yeah, I guess
It's
that's.
facing east.
We're standing and looking east.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, that's facing east,
Right,
yes.
so we're looking at it from
From
the
the
west,
parking lot.
from
yeah.
the east side looking west?
That's what I think that spot
Yeah.
was.
Like right here or something?
That's what is that what it seemed like?
Yeah,
Right?
like
Because,
that or something sitting back here, but I think it's like this.
yeah,
here.
it's the
Oh, right
parking lot's
there.
behind us.
Okay. And do we know the materials?
Yes, I believe it was a, clapboard, hardy plank composite material. Looks like it's beige, I think is the color.
Yep.
And then,
With the stone bottom?
yep, with the stone bottom and then the
Rock
asphalt
bottom.
shingles, gray
Oh,
asphalt shingles.
And that really is not a tan.
Maybe it's not, just,
You
yeah.
say white.
Yeah, the sample was submitted last meeting.
Oh, they
Okay,
submitted the
that's-
sample,
Yeah.
okay.
All right.
Mhm.
But it
And-
looks-
and
We
get
we
it, so
approved the
it's-
sample
Okay.
Perfect.
last meeting.
Great.
Mhm.
Okay, and is there another, you have other elevations?
I don't know I don't know what's here, to be quite honest.
She does.
You do?
Yeah,
Yeah. well, it's-
whatever was sent to us. Is that any different?
Without, yeah, that's not a rendering, but.
Yeah, that's all I have.
So that's the roadside elevation that we're looking at, that other one.
Yeah, that's the front.
What are the other two files in the folder? There's 5
Sent
total.
Front, side, and back.
Another plan. Okay.
Yeah,
Mr.
no,
Chairman, I remember also that the owner of this proposed building also owns the one next door.
He does, yeah.
He had made comment,
So,
Well, it's very similar.
yeah, and he had made comment that the landscaping was going to match what he currently has during last meeting as well.
so I just saw briefly the east elevation. looks different in the rendering than it looks here,
Where's that?
right there.
Yeah.
See the,
Like that is a hip roof.
well, see the storefront too,
Oh, totally, right, all glass,
The windows.
and the windows and everything else.
even the roof line is different.
Where is, I believe the last meeting, I mean, the ones that Mr. Burke, Mr. Taglavia, and myself saw, there were colored renderings though,
Yes, I believe these are
And they-
old drawings.
and they did match,
Mhm.
No, well,
or
the
we
one,
didn't see the site plans.
well,
I mean, the elevations.
There could have been, I haven't reviewed this application, so I don't know what was
right, so
reviewed.
we don't know which is which, I think, at this point.
Well, I mean, we're going to, whatever we do, we're going to stamp approve,
These,
these, is what,
Okay.
you know.
I think I like this much better than the color rendering.
I get the idea of the front, you know what I mean, with the hip roof side, at least it's on the east elevation, so the front's still gonna look the same.
Right, but then that whole storefront with the glass and
I think he's
everything
trying to
else.
let it so that you at least get more natural light in it.
Right.
So, but what Anthony's telling us is, this is what's gonna be stamped by the planning board.
Unless there's some other folder that we didn't see. If they
Well, I
saw,
mean, if Anthony highlights the color rendering again, that's the east side.
what did you guys see, because that's even smaller windows,
Mhm.
and then has the big storefront.
This is what was submitted last meeting.
And was there more drawings that looked like that?
There was a second rendering, I believe.
Is everything open, Anthony? That is in all those folders?
Yeah, for the most part, it looks like, except for an aerial, I think. No, this is open.
Yeah. Miss Doyle?
That's all I have.
Yeah, okay.
So what's the best way for us to move?
Yeah, well, I mean, at this point, I don't know, we might just have to hold this over until the next meeting.
When's your next meeting?
2
On
weeks.
the 20,
Do that, and I'll have to get Lou to clarify for us.
yeah, the 21st,
I think we need
23rd.
to, in any kind of landscape plan.
no, 21st.
Yeah, we'll make sure you get it back.
Okay.
But just at least so the drawings and the rendering match, at
Match,
least so
yeah,
we know
yeah,
what
yeah.
we're talking about.
I will make sure.
Yeah, because
We'll clarify, make
Anthony,
sure.
even with the residential applications, we do not approve them if, like, the rendering or the elevations in the drawings don't match.
Yep, understood. So we will get whatever information to you, the proper plans.
Right, and if you could find the other.
And that still gives you enough time? So for
uh,
action plan, you, all right.
Okay, great.
If you could find the renderings for the sides and the front,
Will do.
okay.
That work?
All right, thank you.
Yes,
There you go.
thanks, Ann.
Anthony, thanks for your help.
No problem.
All right, thank you.
Got it.
Okay, next on the agenda is a substantial residential, 1240 Ocean Road, and it's 1240 Ocean Road, Bridgehampton. Is the applicant available on this?
1240 Ocean Road, you guys discussed the last meeting, and you told him he didn't need to.
I have no one online.
This is the one that we saw with,
We didn't have any issues, we just didn't have a quorum, I believe.
Right, we didn't have a quorum, and I'm the lead board member on this application. And I had no comments on it, just that the comments were that if the metal parts of the roof would be non-reflective. And that was my only comment. Mr. Rump, comments?
I have no issues with this application, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, fine. Mr. Jankowski?
No issues, I'm going with the lead's recommendation.
Okay, Mr. Berg,
Yeah, no.
comments?
no issues, right? We had already approved it, they were making a small change or something, right? But yeah, no
Yeah.
issues, no issues.
Okay, Mr. Tagliavia, comments?
No issues or further comments.
Okay, fine. All right, and I was the lead, I do I hear a motion to approve?
Motion?
Motion to approve.
Okay, do I hear a second?
I'll second.
Motion has been made and seconded on the motion to approve this. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And that's carried. Okay, next on the agenda is 418 Butter Lane, and this is 418 Butter Lane, Bridgehampton. And is the applicant available on this application?
Yep, we have somebody in the audience.
Yeah. Okay, are they coming up?
Yeah, you are. Coming up.
guys?
How you doing?
Just state your name for the record.
Justin Marinoff, Marinoff.
Thanks, Justin.
Thank you.
And how are you related to the project?
I am the builder / developer,
Okay.
part of the ownership.
Okay, all right, do you have, Ms. Keys, Ms. Doyle, do we have renderings on this?
Yes, they're up. Can you
We
see them?
do.
We have two at the back and the front.
Okay, Ms. Keys, you're the
we have
lead
site
on
plan?
this. Would you
I didn't
give
receive
the
a site
board
plan.
your comments and decision on this application?
Justin, you got a site plan in there?
Can I see? Okay.
Closest thing I have is I printed out.
Yeah.
You guys each want one that I quickly printed this out. You guys want one?
Just, yeah.
Yeah, I'll take one.
I'm looking at the house here. What is the square footage of the house?
So I have that actually. The first floor is 3,005 plus a 531 square foot garage. The second floor is 2,954. If you want, I will use my calculator.
That's all right. What is the roof made out of? Just out of,
It's a standing seam metal roof, and no, I heard you guys before, it's not a reflective,
Matt, finish.
yeah, it's a matte finish. And if you look, I mean, you're not here, but if you go to the page, you'll see I kind of standing seam metal roof, matte finish in a gray.
okay. And the landscape plan, can you put that up for me, please? I see that it's quite a wooded lot, yes? At the moment?
No, that's just a rendering, but it's a relatively cleared lot
Show
right
you
now.
GIS.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, hold on, that's not it. Hold on, 418 Butter Lane. There we go.
Julie, the presenter gave us a kind of a site plan or a survey,
If you guys.
and it is a flag lot.
I see it. And no, I'm looking at it online, it's
Yeah.
a flag lot.
Yeah.
Because I can't really see the rendering, Tim, can you possibly, Mr. Rump, take the lead on the landscaping?
Sure, well, there is no planting plan to review. It's just the rendering that showed there's a screening, that's already there on both sides for the two residences that are there, and then there's a nursery
Behind it, I see
behind it.
that.
See that?
Yeah.
So
That's screened in already.
so it's fairly well screened, I think, at this point.
All right, so your recommendation is it's fine?
Yes.
Okay. Then I see no problem with this house.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Keys. Mr. Rump, any additional other comments on the building? And
No, I have no comments on the architecture or the site at this point, Mr. Chairman.
okay, Mr. Jankowski, comments?
So Justin, are you using the driveway then that's here? Is that how you're coming in?
There's a common driveway.
Okay.
Down the middle.
So that's how it comes in.
Exactly.
I got you
There
now.
go.
All right, I just couldn't figure it out
Yeah,
on
and the
the,
material that we're gonna do is we're gonna match.
I
this.
got you.
Exactly.
yeah, then I just couldn't figure out where you were coming in. Now I see it. No, I don't have any issues. It looks like it fits the neighboring houses with no issues. It looks good.
Okay, Mr. Burke, comments?
No issues.
Okay, Mr. Tagliavia, comments?
No comments.
Okay, and my main comment was, that the metal roof must be non-reflective, and also, this was a note, and I don't know who it was in the building department that wrote the note on this file, that you had as a roof cedar and then slash metal, and I don't see any cedar on it. Is there?
There is not, there might have been a typo, to a degree, but this is,
Okay.
yeah, we're looking at the,
It's standing seam,
yeah.
like a matte silver.
I mean, that's what I see is standing
Yeah.
seam, but I think, that was what was given. The note to me or on the file said, check the ARB sheet regarding the plans, and the rendering, so,
Yeah.
okay, fine. I mean, I'm okay with it being standing seam and non-reflective. Any comments from any of the public? And no comments from the public? Do I hear a motion to approve this?
Motion to approve?
Do I hear a second?
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded to approve. All those in favor? Aye. And it's carried.
Thanks, Jess.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you. Does anyone put reflective roofs on?
No.
Does anyone
They try. Some people
I
try.
want to see that.
You'll see it when you're flying.
Yeah, that's funny.
Good luck.
All right, thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Have a good rest of the day.
You too.
You too.
Is there any further business to come before the board? If none, do I hear a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn?
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded to adjourn. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you, everyone.